So on this third weekend of November, the epicenter of NCAA Division III basketball is Grand Rapids, Michigan. Calvin University hosting the 7th annual Great Lakes Invitational. 3 games in the books in this year's event. One more today on this Friday. It's the nightcap. The host Calvin University Knights and the Emory Eagles. Hi again, everyone, and welcome back to Calvin University as we get set for the 4th and final game of this first day of the Great Lakes Invitational. Bob Sack, delighted to be with you for this matchup between Calvin and Emory. Glad to be joined by former Calvin National Champion Mike Lefebvre with us tonight. Mike, good to have you at the broadcast table tonight.
Thanks, Bob. Great to be here. Excited for first home game of the year of Calvin basketball.
Yeah, a couple of interesting stories, really. The fact that it's November 22nd, it's the first home game of the year. But the other story, of course, with Calvin is the fact that the Knights are 0-4. And Jeff Vivas tells us today it's the first time since 1929 that this team has started out the season 0-4. You've seen a lot of years of Calvin basketball. What's your assessment of the slow start for Bill Saul's Calvin Knights this year?
Yeah, I think there's a few things going on, Bob. First of all, we've played some really good teams. So any of those losses by themselves are not embarrassing losses by any stretch. Those were tough games. We had a couple of those games we probably should have won. Had a chance to win it down the stretch and just didn't pull it out. Needed to make a few free throws, reduce the turnovers. They might be still adjusting a little bit to playing without Jalen Overway, and that's obviously a big part of the offense the last couple of years, and so that's been an adjustment. So, they're trying to make some adjustments against some really good teams. So it's not easy, but confident they'll come out with some fire here in the first home game and try to get the first win of the year.
And it doesn't get any easier tonight as the Emory Eagles are in town, ranked 8th in the D3Hoops.com preseason poll, off to a 2-0 start, with wins over Barry and 17th ranked Guilford College, both by solid margins. Jair Knight and Ben Pierce are both averaging 23 a game to lead Emory. So this is a really good team. And I think it's stunning to look at the fact that you have a team with 7 top scorers returning, that of Emory. And for Calvin, that's not the case, obviously, with Overway not in the lineup this season. So that's the interesting thing about these 2 days. Teams are at different points and stages early in the season, and this is no doubt the case here with this nightcap. All right, let's head down to the PA announcer.
Good
Jason
evening.
Fossey
At
for
this
tonight's
time, ladies
lineups.
and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise, and gentlemen, remove your caps as we honor our country with the playing of our national anthem. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Van Ord Arena here on the campus of Calvin University for the final matchup of Day 1 at the 2024 Great Lakes Invitational Tournament featuring the Eagles of Emory University and your Calvin Knights. Let's meet the starters from both teams. First, for Emory, number 2, Jair Knight. Number 10, Ben Pierce. Number 14, Logan Shanahan. Number 21, Albert Fallas. And number 24, A.J. Harris. The Eagles are coached by John Zimmerman. And now let's meet your Calvin Knights. A 6'5" junior from McBain, Michigan, number 1, Trevin Winkle. A 6'3" junior from Caledonia, Michigan, number 5, Luca Ressler. A 6'7" sophomore from Petoskey, Michigan, number 23, Brady Ewing. A 6'6" junior from Muskegon, Michigan, number 3, Owen Varnado. And a 6'4" tall senior from Huntley, Illinois, number 0, Uchenna Agakeza. The Knights are coached by Bill Saul in his 6th season.
Calvin comes into the game 0-4 after losses to Platteville, Cal, Lutheran, Wisconsin, Oshkosh, and Heidelberg. For Emory, they're 2-0. Victories over Barry, 91-71, and Guilford, 75-61. Emory, part of the University Athletic Association, 15-10 last year, 6-8 in the conference. Of course, Calvin coming off that 25-5 campaign, 18-2 in the MIAA, and an Elite 8 appearance in the national tournament. Emory decked out in their bright yellow, more of a mustard yellow jersey with blue trim. Calvin in the all whites, of course, with the maroon trim and gold trim. Set to go here from Calvin. Varnado jumping it up against the Eagles, and Emory controls the opening tap. Left wing, Ben
Out of
Pierce.
bounds, turnover, Calvin basketball.
Stepped down the line.
I think Coach Saul's going to have a big emphasis on the defense tonight, Bob. Calvin's given up 80 points a game so far this year, and that's not a Coach Saul team. So I think he's going to want to. So getting a turnover off that first possession is big.
Uchenna out top, bumped
Agakeza
by A.J.
fouled.
Harris. And there's our first
Fouls on
foul
number
of
24,
the night.
A.J. Harris, his first.
Talk about that
first.
defense. Calvin giving up 46%. Opponents shooting on field goal percentage 41% on 3. Mike, that's high.
That is high. Yeah.
Forcing 12 turnovers a game.
Yeah, and one thing we've seen in the 3 games leading up to this, and I'm
violation.
sure we will
Knights
here too,
retain
there's
possession.
high pressure defense that comes with these highly ranked teams.
Knights get it in. Wrestler on the left wing. Sends it cross court to Winkle. Hounded over there by Ben Pierce is Winkle. Down low to Wrestler. Fall away jumper from the right block is short. And here come the Eagles. Top side Fallas. Jair Knight works the lane, turns on Wrestler, and
Knight
pops through
for
the
2.
10-footer for the game's first basket.
Jair's averaging 23 in the first 2 games, so he's definitely one of their guys. Going to see a lot of him tonight.
Averaged 17.5 last year. One of the top 7 scorers that return. Varnado gets a step on Shanahan, but he's walled off there and spins it back out to Winkle. poked away and into the hands of A.J. Harris. Shanahan, it leaves for Fallis. Three-pointer top side is good. It's 5-0.
Fallis.
Jenna works to the left side, now cycles back to the top side. Free throw lane, Wrestler with a good move, left-handed
for
over
two.
A.J. Harris. And Calvin's on the board. Wrestler, the 6'3" junior from Grand Rapids Catholic Central. There's another triple, this time by Logan Shanahan.
These guys can light it up, Bob, when they get hot. And their game last week against Guilford, they made 9 for 9 from the three-point line to start the game. So Calvin's got to get out on him.
Shanahan averages 9 points and 9 rebounds a game.
Owen Varnado
from downtown, top of the key.
That's big for Owen. He's a streaky shooter. Once he gets going, he might make a few in a row.
8 for 21 coming into the game. Good to see him off to a hot start. Oh, and the three ball just raining as A.J. Harris cans one from the right wing, and it's 11-5.
Foul committed against Egekeza. Foul is on number 2, Jair Knight. His first, team second.
Emory coached by Jason Zimmerman in his 17th season, all-time winningest coach for the Eagles. Left elbow, Winkle left open, and he cans the 13-footer. Trevin Winkle.
Trevin might be the best pure shooter on this team, so big for him to hit a first shot too.
Left open for a 3 from the left wing is Shanahan. That's off the mark. Into the front court is Winkle. Wrestler sets between the circles. Varnado left point. Wrestler finds Egekeza underneath. He'll back down. Pierce muscles up the bank shot, and it's 11-9. Good isolation.
That's Uchenna's game.
Long 3 by Jair Knight. Wide to the right. Controlled by Calvin. Wrestler all the way. Got the left hand again. Luka lays it in. The foul as well, and he'll go to the line with a chance to give the Knights the lead. Good response to the early start as we hit our first TV media timeout. Mike Lefebvre, the planning for success keys to the game tonight, presented by Skipper and Ostrich. As you look at these two teams, what does Calvin need to do to get off the schneid, get the first win?
Yeah, I like what we're doing on offense. They're taking it to the basket. They're creating some opportunities and then hitting the 3 when it's open. Defensively, we just have to get out on their three-point shooters. They obviously like to put up the 3. They've shown that in the first 2 games this year, and they've shown that in the first few minutes here of this game. So they can make them when you're open. So we got to get a hand in their face, make it uncomfortable for them.
That's tonight's keys to the game, planning for success, presented by Skipper No Strength Wealth Management, providing the financial clarity, solutions, and service that allow you to focus on what you care about most. Tonight's starting lineups were presented by Mercantile Bank. Mercantile Bank with Merc Perks checking throughout the state of Michigan. Mentioned Jason Zimmerman, the head coach, taking the Eagles to 10 NCAA tournaments, 6-time conference champion. Started out, Mike, 17-33 in his first 2 years, and I love it when schools stay with the guy. And
right.
They have done that with Zimmerman.
They have, and it's paid off. They've made a number of runs in the national tournament. I think their best finish is an Elite 8 back in 2012. And yeah, he's obviously put a nice career together for Emory. They're competitive every year.
Previous stops for Zimmerman were at Evansville and assistant coach at Davison under legendary Bob McKillips for many years. Luka Wrestler with 5 points gives Calvin their first lead of the game. Down low, Cale Martins working at the post, drops through the baby hook. Eagles back on top. Keza pressured by Pierce. Might cycle it around to Riemersma. Now top side to Varnado in the lane. Pumps. Retrieves back to Winkle. He'll use the Felton screen. Poked away by Shanahan. Ball is loose, and Calvin's not going to get a shot off. Good defense by Emory. Calvin comes into the game committing nearly 16 turnovers a game compared to 12 for their opponents. Like you say, the schedule's been tough. He's been following part of the Knights for a lot of years. How does this opening season pre-conference schedule compare to some of the past years?
Yeah, I think this is a really tough one. You know, you schedule these a year or two in advance, and that Coach Saul had the mantra: we got a really good team with a lot of potential. We want to play some good competition, but you didn't anticipate Jalen Overway getting a knee injury, right? So that some guys got to step up, and I guess sometimes it takes a little bit to work through that.
Step back two by Fowlis wouldn't go. Knights clear, but then turn it over on the offensive possession. James Felton into the game for Calvin. He's the grad transfer from Davenport by way of Lansing Christian High School. Also into the lineup now is Parker Swartz, the transfer from Ohio Dominican by way of Northview.
Parker's from a long line of Calvin basketball players. His grandfather and his mother both played at Calvin, so good to have him on campus.
Gale Martin's working down low against Felton. Turnaround jumper wouldn't go. Follow, no good by Ethan Faust. Calvin survives that second opportunity from Emory. Keza into the front court. Works the lane, floater no. Good defense by Jair Knight. He rips the rebound down as well. Races to the other end. Poked away by Varnado. But they'll get Owen for the hack. 14-10 to go. Emory still with that 1-point edge. Dane Harvey checks into the game, the local senior from Forest Hills Eastern. That's Mike. I don't know that I've heard that one very often. You got to try to explain that one.
The coaches are starting to angle for calls already, so we're.
Albert Fallis launches a three from the left corner and buries it. Two coaches agreeing with each other on the lack of fouls being consistently called. I love it. Top side Felton now with Emory on top by 4. Just under 14 to go. Riemersma, the 6'4" Zeeland East junior grad. Finds on the left side Harvey with the runner, too strong, got a good look. And then on the rebound, they'll get Felton for the reach in. Early shooting percentages. Emory 6 out of 11, Calvin 5 out of 8, so both teams shooting fairly well. Difference has been 3-pointers, where Emory's 4 out of 7. Top side Faust. Good look down low to Shanahan. And pretty pass from Faust. It's 18-12. Keza working the left side. Fall away jumper from 14.
Need more of that from Uchenna. He's got a way to really spark the energy for the team when he's going well.
Two-man game down low. They find Shanahan. 6'7" senior from Westchester. Mid-range jumper short from Ethan Faust.
Good recovery by Calvin on that. Defensively, good movement.
Knights clear the glass and moving into the front court with Swartz. Leaves for Riemersma, long 3 off the mark. Shanahan with the carom for Emory. Head to Fallis. Leaves it for Martins. His 3-ball no good. Here's Fallis in and out on a top side triple. Rebound pinballed to Schwartz.
They're not shy from three, Bob. They'll put it up.
Already taken 10. Egakez underneath, fall away jumper, got it. Get that mid-range going.
That's his game right there.
Creating space. Entry pass, foul on Harvey on the push. 18 to 16, immediate timeout. Emory on top. Chance to tell you about planning for success presented by Skipper and Ostring. Today's featured Calvin basketball player is Mike Morris from Grand Rapids Catholic Central, sporting a perfect 4.0 grade point average heading into this semester. That's a young man certainly planning for success. Tonight presented by Skipper and Ostring Wealth Management, providing the financial clarity, solutions, and service that allow you to focus on what you care about most. First early thoughts, 16 to 8, 18-16 here in the first half.
Yeah, I think both teams, are doing what they want to do. As you mentioned a little bit ago, the difference I think is the three-pointers that Emory's made, and Calvin's done a better job the last few minutes of getting a hand in the face, making those shots a little less comfortable for Emory.
Season. Common foul.
Nice student section crowd tonight, Bob. It's jersey night. I see a bunch of Lions jerseys right in the front row. So.
Oh yeah, some good nostalgic ones there too. We'll talk more about those when we get a moment. John Capolino the fourth, number 3, now into the game for Emory. Here's a reach-in foul on Brady Ewing, 6'7" sophomore out of Petoskey. Be the 4th team foul on Calvin. Bernardo returns for Ewing. Inbounds play. Drawn up well, leaves an open jumper for Knight, but he couldn't knock it down. Offensive carom controlled by Emory. Knight again, this time on the left baseline. Nice reverse layup, spins out. Martin's there for the follow, no. And Bernardo skies for the rebound. Ahead to Wrestler back in the game. Trevin Winkle with a long, check that, Parker Schwartz with a long 3 from the right side. Calvin has the lead, 19 to 18. Pierce quickly back the other way. Scoop shot, no. Ball tipped out to Knight. Finds Pierce out of the right corner. He airmails a triple try into the hands of Wrestler. Ahead to Schwartz. Spins on Capolino. Nice Euro step by Parker Schwartz, and it's 21 to 18 Knights.
Nice to see Parker score a couple baskets. This might get him going. He hasn't really scored a lot yet in the first 4 games, and I think he's got a potential to be a big contributor.
He's got his season average already here, 10 minutes into this one. Martin's top side. No, but right there for the rebound is Jair Knight. Averaging 6 rebounds a game, the 6'2" guard from Elyria, Ohio, puts the follow through.
Emory in a 1-2-2 zone now. A little different look against us. We're taking a minute to try to set this up.
Wrestler finds Winkle open at the vacant spot of that zone, but he couldn't hit the turnaround jumper from the free throw line. Pierce races into the front court, lobs it underneath on a good slip from Cale Martins. Martins with his 4th point. Back the other way, Schwartz works the left baseline. Swings it out high to Ty Horkey now in the game. The transfer leaves for Wrestler, long 2, short. Horkey, the transfer from Kalamazoo, averaging 13 minutes a game. Left point, 3-ball no by Shanahan. Controlled by Schwartz. He'll leave for Horkey, and Bill Saul wants to talk it over here with 9:31 to go, and Emory up by a point, 22 to 21. Chance for those of you watching to know a little bit more about the tournament host this weekend, Calvin University. Enrollment at Calvin continues to climb for the 2nd straight year. Calvin is experiencing a double-digit percentage uptick in its first-year class. 1,200 new students represent undergraduate and graduate learners from dozens of states and 46 countries around the world. Discover why Calvin is in demand. Schedule a visit at calvin.edu/visit. Bill Saul going to his bench. Frequently pretty heavy rotation. Probably like a lot of coaches trying to figure it all out here in November.
Yep. He's typically going to play, go 10 guys deep. He's going to emphasize you play really hard and come out and get a break and then go back in and play hard again. So he's always going to run 10 deep. But as we're working out this early season struggles, they've got to make sure they got the right offense on the floor as well.
Knights inbound at Wrestler.
And now they're extending that zone. They're going to a little bit of a trap.
Leaves Vernado open for a topside three ball. No. Battle for the rebound by Brady Ewing, and he won that tussle. Foul goes against Emory. Whistled on Albert Fallis. He'll earn Fallis a seat with his second foul. Each team with 4 fouls here midway through the first half. Egakeza probes the zone on the left side. Wrestler now top of the key. He'll fire from 3. No. Battle for the rebound controlled by Ethan Faust. Quickly to Pierce. Guns it right side to Faust. Right corner air ball by A.J. Harris. Controlled by Wrestler. Knights in transition. Ewing, he'll eye the 3 and take it. Splash it home. Brady Ewing.
Brady's a good shooter. He's got range. You leave him open, he'll knock it down.
Calvin back on top, 24-22. Right corner, 3 more for Shanahan.
I think they just set a 2 on that one, Bob.
Yep, they did. He had a foot on the line.
Yep.
Knotted at 24 with 8:20 to play here in the first half, but a good one. Nice drive and a good layup by Trevin Winkle. Got a step. Used his body well to shield the defender. Gives Calvin the lead again. Right back for a 3 is Faust. No, but A.J. Harris there for the rebound. Finds Jair Knight on the left wing, and he drills the triple to put Emory back on top, 27-26.
That's the challenge on those 3 balls. You get the long rebounds. It's hard to box out. And that time Emory took advantage.
Egakeza left open at the left elbow, made a little shimmy move and created space again, lays it in. Jenna with now 6. Harris drives the lane, draws contact, and he'll have a chance for a 3-point play. Bill Saul thought he sort of slid between the defenders, but foul goes, I think, on Ewing. Media timeout. Emory on top, 29-28, 7:31 to go here in this first half. Great Lakes Invitational schedule brought to you by NAI Wasinski of West Michigan. West Michigan's largest independently owned commercial real estate firm. 3 games in the books for this event. UW lacrosse blitzing Marietta this afternoon, 99-75 in the opener. St. John's in a bit of a slugfest with Hope. Prevailed 64-48. John Carroll impressive against, or rather Johns Hopkins impressive against John Carroll, 84-69. Tomorrow, Hope meets Marietta at 1 o'clock. Johns Hopkins battles lacrosse at 3. John Carroll and Emory clash at 5:30, and at 7:30 the nightcap, St. John's at Calvin. Mike, what stood out to you from these first 3 games this afternoon? This evening?
Well, the one I was watching closest is that St. John's Hope game, because we're always interested in what Hope's doing, but also St. John's is who Calvin's going to play tomorrow. So you described it well. It was a slugfest and just a defensive battle. St. John's was, they weren't exactly lighting up the scoreboard, but they're really tough to score against. They played some really good and physical defense. And so Calvin will have their hands full tomorrow night, too.
Hope with just 8 points through the first 15 minutes of that basketball game.
They were, and Hope was missing one of their starting point guards, Marcus Werman, and I think they missed him a lot. I think that hurt their offensive flow.
Jair Knight completes the 3-point play. After that, hoop and harm. give Calvin credit. I tell you, Emory started fast. Knight struggled offensively in those first 5 minutes, really before the first media timeout. But since then, Calvin has really battled and settled in a little bit here.
I've really, like you said, after the first few minutes, I've really liked what we're doing offensively.
Little 1-2-2 pressure here. Token pressure. 17 on the shot clock. Calvin resets top side with Harvey. Left wing to Ewing. Schwartz drives the left baseline. 8 on the shot clock. Ewing works his way, couldn't hit it, but Winkle was there for the putback. Or rather, Reimers actually got a hand on it, and then into the arms of Brady Ewing. The ball fell, and he was hacked on the way up.
Great job by Brady, making something happen as the shot clock was winding down, and then going and getting the offensive rebound. So I'll hopefully get 2 shots at the line here.
6'7" sophomore out of Petoskey. You said it. You were looking for him to add to the scoring here, and he has 5. Again,
5.
Exceeded his average here with 7 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah, I think he needs to be a weapon for Calvin to be successful offensively, and so far he's doing just that.
They're deadlocked at 30. Down low, Martins gets away with a little shove on Ewing. Can't hit the baby hook, and then grabs the rebound, misses the short jumper. Calvin controls. Head to Egakeza. Shimmies and shakes on Jair Knight. Great space and falls away with a 10-footer. Boy, he had the defender on his heels, didn't he?
Vintage Uchenna right there. That's his game.
Preseason All-American doing it for Calvin. Gives the Knights a 2-point lead. On the run is Parker Schwartz. Oh, swatted away on a great defensive play by Jair Knight. Ben Pierce racing the other way. Left side to Mario Awasam now into the game. He leaves for Knight. Long 3 from the left wing. No, knocked out of bounds. It'll go to Calvin.
That's a different 3-point shot that I think Bill Saw would be okay with. That was a deep one with a hand in his face. I think we'd be happy Tim taking that all night if you're Coach Saul.
I think Knight felt he needed to reward himself with that stellar defensive play on the other end. It was a great play as he rejected Schwartz's 2-on-1 break.
Emory now with a press, trapping, but then getting back on D.
Open for a right wing triples. Parker Schwartz. That's 8 for him.
Parker Schwartz coming out party here today.
5-point lead, the biggest gap of the day for Calvin. Awasam drives the lane, feeds to Martins. First try was short, second one tipped in. Egakeza, the grad student from Huntley, Illinois, leaves for Schwartz. He's got another one. You called it, the coming out party. Parker Schwartz, 4 for 5 from the field, 10 points tonight. Down low, Cale Martins working on Ewing. Should be 3 seconds there on House. They don't call it. Left corner House. Bumped by Schwartz. Gives it up to Martins. Left point 3. No. Tapped out of there by Knight.
Got to get those rebounds, Bob.
His 3 is too strong. Martins with another board. That's short. Finally, Egakeza clears the glass. On the run. Right side. Ewing. No. That would have brought the House down, but Ewing couldn't convert. Ben Pierce quickly back the other way. 4.5 to go. 37-32. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Emory. Some tired basketball players out there. Racehorse over these last 2 or 3 minutes.
They're getting after it. It's up and down for sure. Physical game and a lot of back and forth.
Calvin now with Felton, Luca Ressler, Trevin Winkle, Uchenna Egakeza, and Trip Reimers in the lineup. Baseline drive by Knight, muscles up, shot, no, battle for the rebound. And I think they're going to get Luca Ressler on the submarine on that loose ball. Bill Saul wondering why Luca. Shanahan returns. A.J. Harris also now back in the lineup for Emory. Eagles out of Atlanta, Georgia. Part of the University Athletic Association. Inbounds pass, low block. Shanahan, kick out, Pierce, right corner. No, Shanahan, another offensive rebound. Emory will reset. Shanahan spins along the left baseline. Can't hit the teardrop, controlled by Trip Riemersma. Wrestler creating space at the free throw line. Off balance, threw it away to Harris. His out of control layup, no, but Ben Pierce is right there for the follow. And it's 37-34 inside of 4 minutes. Wrestler uses the Felton screen. He'll pull up from 16. Got hacked as he delivered by Logan Shanahan. That'll send Luca Wrestler to the line. Media timeout, 37-34 Calvin. First half today brought to you by Skipper No Strength Wealth Management, partnering with you to help unlock your financial potential, build your legacy. Chance to say congratulations to Jim and Leah Skipper, their son Joel, also the baseball coach.
Our new baseball coach at Calvin. Absolutely.
Being married tonight, I believe a destination wedding, Mike, down in Florida. Skipper's enjoying that.
Yep, great day for the Skippers. Congratulations to all, and yeah, special memory for them today.
November student section over across the way, and indeed some great jerseys. Gotta like the Flint Tropics jersey. That's a good one.
I saw an Larry Bird Indiana State jersey.
Yeah, no doubt. The Hick from French Lick sporting. Justin Herbert, that must be a Jim Harbaugh fan over there in the second row with a Justin Herbert jersey
Justin
on.
Herbert. I see a Dennis Rodman from the Pistons days, Bad Boys.
The Walter Payton split orange and blue Bears jersey. That's a good one. I don't like it, but I do appreciate the nostalgia of the Mateen Cleaves jersey from 2000 circa
Cleaves.
Michigan State.
Same year that Kelvin last won a national championship, 2000.
Of course, a vintage Tom Brady from U of M. Some good ones. Luca Wrestler to the free throw line with 3:37 to go. Trying to add to Calvin's 3-point lead. Been a good one. Emory led the first half of the first half, and Calvin spurted here in the second half to take the lead, and they've steadily controlled a 2 to 5 point margin as Wrestler misses on the first. Second one also left it short. Down by 3, Pearson to the front court to Jair Knight. Topside Pierce. John Capolino back into the game, leaves for Logan Shanahan, who hands off to Knight. Deep 3. Good screen by Shanahan.
You just can't give him space, Bob. He's a scorer.
Jair Knight now with 10. Comes into the game averaging 23 points a game. There's a blocking screen on Felton. Knight, 56% shooter, 40% from downtown. 30 points against Barry in the opener. Ben Pierce also averaging 23, but Mike, he's been held to just 2.
Yeah, we're doing a really nice job on him. They're a tough 1-2 punch, but you'll notice Uchenna's been guarding him, and that's
show and go by Shanahan. Couldn't get the right side runner to fall. Calvin into the front court. Sweeping scoop shot. Knocked out of bounds by Ty Horkey. Brady Ewing replacing James Felton. So Calvin now with Winkle, Ewing, Egekeza, Riemersma, and Horkey on the floor.
Emory's back in that zone defense out of that out-of-bounds play.
Winkle working on Knight, the low blocks. Back out to Horkey. His pass to Winkle's batted away and stolen by the Eagles. Knight working on Egakeza, long three again. Like you said, Coach Bill Saul likes that. A hand in the face from 22 feet. He'll take that one.
That's right. That tends to end up short, and that's what happened to that one in front of the rim.
Side of 2 minutes now in this tie game. Contested three on the wing from Winkle. Air balls it to the right. As Emory with a chance to go into the lead. And Jason Zimmerman will call timeout. This month in Calvin sports history, presented by Applied Innovation, takes us back to 2010, when the Calvin women's volleyball team captured a share of the MIAA regular season and later captured its first ever national title. That 2010 Calvin women's volleyball team was led by head coach Amber Warners. They finished 32-4, concluding its season with a 4-set victory over, Mike, tell me who?
Emory.
There you go. How about that for a well-timed Jeff Phoebus Applied Innovation this month in Calvin sports? A national championship over Emory.
Absolutely.
The first of three in a decade for Amber Warners. This month in Calvin athletics history, presented by Applied Innovation, connecting Calvin alums for 35 years.
Quite a run by Coach Warners and the Calvin volleyball team over the last 10 to 12 years. That team, Rebecca Camp and Lizzie Camp and Megan Riedema was a freshman on that team. Multiple All-Americans on that team.
Part of the rich, rich athletic history. Here's an alley-oop for Knight. Knocked away nicely, but controlled by Capolino. Now Uchenna gets a deflection, but what a good hustle play by Ben Pierce to come back and strip him on the breakaway. Into the corner, Capolino drives and scoops from the left side for his first bucket of the game. Some really good transition defensive efforts by Emory tonight. A couple of times have saved run-out baskets. There's a foul on Winkle. 25 feet from the basket. Not in the bonus yet. Or are they? Yes, that's the 8th.
We are now, yep.
Check that. Yeah, that is the 7th foul on Emory. That'll send Trevin Winkle to the free throw line with 68 seconds to go here in the first half. Winkle with his 5th point. Knights have had good balance. Parker Schwartz off the bench with 10. Egakeza, his usual pacing with 10 points. But other guys have gotten the act too, and one of them is Winkle. He now has 6. Tied at 39. Final minute of the first half. It's been a good one. Best game of the day by far here. Calvin and Emory.
Most evenly matched for sure.
No doubt. Harris topside three, and just keeps bombing away, does Emory. A.J. Harris averaging 10 points a game. Piedmont, California sophomore. Where's Piedmont, California? You make a lot of trips out there.
I do, but I can't say for sure.
Egakeza in the lane. Fall away, no. And Emory can play for the last shot. Just 0.2 of a second between the shot clock and the game clock. Eagles look to head to the locker room at halftime here in the lead. 10 seconds to go. Pierce looks for the double screen. Now he bounced it off his own foot and then crossed the timeline for an over and back. How about that one?
His foot slipped back, and the ref was right at the midcourt line and saw it. Coach Saul's going to get a couple of his shooters in to see if we can get a last-second shot off.
Porky replaces Ressler. So it's Winkle. Juan Varnado, who's saddled with those 2 fouls early, has only played 10 minutes. He'll come in for this last-ditched effort. Egakeza with 3 seconds to go, kicks it left side, long 3 ball on the way, just rims out from Schwartz, and that's the way the first half ends. 42-39, Emory on top. And a good one. Knight shooting 51% from the field to 37, but look, check out the field goal attempts in the first half. 46 for Emory, just 29 for Calvin. And in part, that's really driven by the offensive rebounds, Mike. That's been a bugaboo.
Absolutely.
13-3
Absolutely.
in offensive rebounds.
They've gotten their hands on a lot of balls and haven't always converted it, but it's creating extra attempts for them. Calvin's got to do a better job of that in the second half of limiting them to one shot.
Calvin 5 for 7 from behind the arc. Check that, 4 for 10. Emory 7 for 23. So the Knights, again, offensive rebounding, the big key individually. Emory led by Jair Knight with 13. Logan Shanahan has 7, 6 apiece for Fallis and A.J. Harris. For Calvin, by the way, Knight with 7 rebounds as well. He's just been all over the floor. For Calvin, Uchenna Ekeza with 10 points. 10 also for Parker Swartz off the bench. 6 for Trevin Winkle. And the boards, 4 players with 3. So those are the numbers here in the first half. Bob Sack with former Calvin National Champion Mike Lefebvre. Mike, if you're Jason Zimmerman, what do you tell the Eagles at halftime? And if you're Bill Saul, what do you tell the Knights?
Yeah, I think if you're Jason Zimmerman, I think after the first 5 minutes or so, Calvin got a lot of easy bad. They figured out the offense a little bit. They got some good looks, both from the three-point line and taking the ball to the basket. I think if you're Coach Saul, you tell your team we want the last 15 minutes, not the first 5, right? Like, we just got off to a little bit of a slow start, let them have some easy open looks, and they converted them. We got down a little bit early, but since then, I like how Calvin's played.
All right, we'll step aside for these important messages. Back with you with the latter stages of halftime. Send you to break with news from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A catering trays spread the merry for any family gathering, office party, or special event. From signature Chick-fil-A nugget trays, boxed original chicken sandwich meals, or trays of special blend mac and cheese, Chick-fil-A is a perfect way to bring people together. Order through the Chick-fil-A app and receive rewards for any catering order. And make sure to stop by the Chick-fil-A just a mile south of the Calvin's campus. You're watching the Calvin Sports Network. 42-39, Emory on top at half.
Where will the next revolutionary idea come from? That next breakthrough in scientific research? At Calvin University, you can dream bigger, think deeper, aim higher. Our world-class faculty push students to keep asking hard questions and never settle for the status quo. Become part of a university that challenges students to go beyond as Christ's agents of renewal in the world. Calvin University, go beyond.
Other financial institutions may do a couple things well, but in our experience over the past decade, Lake Michigan Credit Union has done all of the things well.
LMCU has been there for every stage of my life.
I don't think I'd be in the same position if it wasn't connected to LMCU.
I know where my money is. I know what I can spend. I know what I'm able to do.
And that's an amazing experience to have. In terms of customer service, LMCU is top-notch. You're not going to find a better place to bank.
Applied Innovation is excited to celebrate more than 35 years of helping our customers grow. Starting as a printer, copier, and fax dealer, Applied has evolved into a complete office technology provider to include managed IT services and workflow automation.
What sets Applied apart is really our why. That's at our core, a passion for service, for people, for business. If we're at service to one another, then we can take great care of the customer. Happy people take great care of customers, and we just happen to sell technology.
It started with one survivor, one person that I wanted to help. Her name is Delynn, but she had a debt issue that we had to resolve. And working with pro bono legal counsel, we were able to do that. I saw the difference that it made in her life. And I thought, if she has these kinds of legal needs, certainly other survivors do as well. My name is Nate Napper. I'm a 2008 graduate of Calvin University, and I'm currently a special agent with the FBI. I'm also an attorney, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Joseph Project. I'm of the opinion that there is no reason why every single human trafficking survivor in need of legal services shouldn't be given those services free of charge. And the idea was to connect them with pro bono legal help so that they could resolve that legal collateral damage and move forward into a brighter future. And I'm happy to say that we've connected with over 300 survivors of human trafficking. I'll always remember the moment that I learned that one of our survivors, Leslie, had been pardoned by Governor Gretchen Whitmer of all past crimes associated with her trafficking. Michigan's first ever survivor of trafficking to be pardoned by a sitting governor. Criminal charges cleared. Working as a collaborative team, every single charge was resolved. Those are the moments that stick with me. And usually, it's funny, it always has to do with others. It usually has nothing to do with me. And I think that's, another point where Jesus was right all along. That was a beautiful result. And it reminded me, that I've always resonated with the idea that we could be agents of renewal, right? That we could work and cooperate alongside the vision that God has for the world, so that we can usher in the kingdom of God in some ways right here, right now, with the people that we are immediately surrounded by if we're just willing to follow him in obedience. I love that notion. So it's nice, right, to be recognized. I appreciate it, certainly. I give the credit and I give the praise to God. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk about my parents and how I would say the deep level of sacrifice that they made. It's a lot. I just appreciate the fact that they lay some of their own dreams down to make sure that I could live mine. You're willing to submit to his path in obedience, dream the dreams that he would have you enact for the world. I think that you'll go places that you would never imagine going.
At Calvin, our faith in God and pursuit of excellence drives us. Our new soccer stadium reflects that commitment, offering a premier space for our student athletes to compete on and off the field. Whether you're an athlete, a summer camper, or a spectator, join our community of Knights at Calvin University.
Mosquitoes outnumber humans by like 1,000,000 to 1. So who are you giving your blood to? The humans or the mosquitoes? It's us versus them. And I think they're winning. So donate blood with Versity Blood Center of Michigan today.
Other financial institutions may do a couple things well, but in our experience over the past decade, Lake Michigan Credit Union has done all of the things well.
LMCU has been there for every stage of my life.
I don't think I'd be in the same position if it wasn't connected to LMCU.
I know where my money is. I know what I can spend. I know what I'm able to do.
And that's an amazing experience to have. In terms of customer service, LMCU is top-notch. You're not going to find a better place to bank.
Mosquitoes outnumber humans by like 1,000,000 to 1. So who are you giving your blood to? The humans or the mosquitoes? It's us versus them. And I think they're winning. So donate blood with Versity Blood Center of Michigan today.
Today's broadcast is sponsored by Capital and Risk Management Services. Since 1987, Capital and Risk Management Services has supported Knight Nation's financial and risk management needs with strategic solutions for a secure tomorrow. Reach out to Russ Fausing today at 312-458-4523.
This year has definitely changed my world. I'm making an impact here. It feels good to know every day that I'm growing in my abilities that I love, which is film, and I'm also growing as a believer in faith.
I'm really thankful that I was able to do work in my field during school, at school, and that has given me the confidence to move forward with doing my own independent work and getting to put my foot in that door before I even graduate. I don't think I would have found elsewhere.
My life hasn't been easy. I've survived many traumas, and I think my faith journey reflects that. At this point, I've come to believe that to know Christ is to know suffering. It was in my deepest, darkest moments of my life that I think I was able to glimpse a little bit of God. What drives my passion and commitment to making music as accessible to as many people as possible in Indonesia is a very personal experience which unfolded throughout the time that I was at Calvin. During the 4 years that I was there, I was struggling with an eating disorder. I was stuck in the cycle that I couldn't get out of, and I hated how I looked, I hated my body. Now, in my junior and senior year, I started to become more focused in my piano studies, thanks to the urgings of my piano professor at that time, Professor Haisa Kim. I was practicing maybe 4 to 6 hours a day. It was very intense. I realized that being in such an intensive, immersive musical experience made me happy, and it gave me more confidence in myself and in my voice. I felt that my mental health and well-being was healing, and it was daily getting stronger. Because of that very personal experience, I know that music can change lives. The most personally rewarding venture for me is starting the first professional symphony orchestra in the city of Bandung. The first person I contacted was Robert Nordling, who was my conducting professor at Calvin College, and I wanted to see if he was willing to be involved in this crazy initiative. He responded with like capital letters, yes, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. And since then, he's been an amazingly solid partner. In many ways, the Bandung Philharmonic was a unique contribution to musical opportunities in Indonesia, because from day one, it was conceived with an international standard musical and artistic experience in mind. I'm currently a community manager at House of Piano Jakarta, which is the exclusive dealer of Steinway & Sons in Indonesia. So this strategic position widens my circle of impact, and I am now creating programs that affect so many young pianists all throughout the country. Redeeming every square inch for me now means creating great music programs on a strategic level that impacts many people, whether they are young musicians, young pianists, adult musicians, teachers, or even people in the audience. As we know, this happens one person, one heart, and one precious moment at a time.
Applied Innovation is excited to celebrate more than 35 years of helping our customers grow. Starting as a printer, copier, and fax dealer, Applied has evolved into a complete office technology provider to include managed IT services and workflow automation.
We create an environment here at Applied that is such a wonderful one that when one of our employees gets in front of you, it just permeates from them how much they enjoy their work. And when somebody really enjoys their work, the service delivery that you get is going to be an amazing experience.
This is the Gainey Track and Field Complex. There are innovative features that set Calvin's facilities apart from other universities. First, the space joins a small number of dedicated track and field facilities in NCAA Division III. This means that we don't share with football, lacrosse, soccer, any other team. Our throwing facility is adjacent to the main track. Everything is right here in one location. It's all about track and field all the time.
I love the NABE Scholarship Program because I just love how personal these scholarships are for the alumni and for the students. Being a student who grew up in foster care and then getting a scholarship for students who were in foster care and being able to connect with that donor and see the love and the passion that they have for me and being able to resonate with me and what I've gone through. God opened doors that I didn't even know were there. I'm at Calvin and my legacy is starting here.
Today's broadcast is sponsored by Capital and Risk Management Services. Since 1987, Capital and Risk Management Services has supported Knight Nation's financial and risk management needs with strategic solutions for a secure tomorrow. Reach out to Russ Fausing today at 312-458-4523. Welcome back to Calvin University, the fourth and final game of the first day of the Great Lakes Invitational here in Division III college basketball. Bob Sack alongside former Calvin national champion Mike Lefebvre. Pretty good first half. Emory on top 42-39. Good chance to tell you that the D3 Datacast is hosted and written by Matt and Zach Snyder. Snyder brothers are grads of Calvin and avid followers of D3 basketball. Their show takes a lighthearted approach to D3 basketball and typically involves data and discussions and efficiency ratings, regional rankings, NCAA tournament selections, and computer predictions of big games. Check them out at d3datacast.com. I know you're a big fan, Mike.
I watch the Datacast every week. They do a great job. As you said, it's lighthearted. They make it fun, but they also they're really good at breaking it down. And the analytics, which is obviously a big focus in athletics these days, and they're dialed into it. So it's pretty entertaining.
The starting lineups for the second half presented by Mercantile Bank. Calvin has Owen Varnado back into the game with Trevin Winkle, Luca Ressler, Brady Ewing, and Uchenna Ekekeza, the same five that started the game. That's the Mercantile Bank starting lineup presented by Merc Bank with Merc Perks checking accounts. Nice swinging around, find Ewing on the baseline. He gets trapped driving underneath the basket and throws it away.
Leave your feet, usually good things don't happen.
Left corner three is short from Shanahan. Wrestled away by Ewing. To Varnado, who sat most of that latter part of the half with 2 fouls. I thought that ball was tipped. They're going to call over and back. Mike Varnado, Owen Varnado missed most of that half, or a good portion of the half. Actually played 11 minutes, but what does he bring back now to this team with his return to the lineup?
Yeah, Owen brings a lot of energy as well as, one of our main scoring options. So we need him on the floor. He's got to make sure he plays solid defense, but not reaching, can't pick up any cheap fouls. His presence is just too important.
Albert Follis, A.J. Harris, Logan Shanahan, Ben Pierce, and Jair Knight, the 5 for Emory. Underneath, Harris, check that Shanahan, shuffled his feet before he elevated for that shot. Turnover goes back to Calvin.
Nice defense by Brady Ewing there. He forced him into an uncomfortable shot and the fade away, and he shuffled his feet to do it.
First 4 minutes of this half so critical. It seems to be a new thing, right? Last 4 minutes of the first half and first 4 of the second. Both of these teams trying to establish as we come out of the break. Varnado, right elbow. Look for Ewing underneath. Had it deflected away. On the run is Jair Knight. He's hammered as he skies in for the layup. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
Emory was back in that 1-2-2 zone, and Calvin hasn't looked real comfortable yet with that. Need to figure out where to find the lanes.
8th turnover on the Knights. Emory with just 4. Big stat again, if you just joined us, offensive rebounds in the first half, 13 for Emory, just 3 for Calvin. The result of that was a huge disparity in shot attempts. 46 for Emory, 29 for Calvin in the first half. That's why Emory was able to squeak out to their 3-point lead at the break. Against pressure, Ressler into the front court, splits the defenders, gets a call on Ben Pierce for a little check there. Ressler, the junior from Catholic Central, averaging 6 points a game, 5 assists per game. Left elbow, Ekekeza, left corner, Ewing can't hit the 3. Rebound pinballed into the hands of Albert Follis. He eyes the 3, Follis does, now drives, floats up a 5-footer off the glass too hard. Ressler there for the carom. Into the front court, nice bounce pass to Uchenna, slashing along the baseline, lays in, great feed from Luca Ressler.
I like Luca pressing that up. It creates opportunities, and Uchenna with a nice finish.
Knight spins on Ressler. He lost his balance, shuffled his feet. Luca Ressler with a good play on both ends of the floor. The Knights with a chance to tie this one up with a 3. Ekekeza watched by Pierce into the front court to Trevin Winkle. He's got it again. Fall away jumper from 12. Splashes it down. Trevin Winkle cuts the gap to 1. Back the other way. Pierce guns it left wing. Good looking 3. Knocked down there by A.J. Harris. th attempt from beyond the arc for Emory. They've connected on 8 of them. Uchenna Ikekeza spins, falls away, and drops it through from 12 feet on the right side of the lane. 47-45 Emory.
Uchenna's favorite shot, if he's not going all the way to the basket, is that little fadeaway. Get in the lane and then fade away. It's tough to stop.
Key to that is creating that space on his thrust toward the hoop.
Absolutely.
Pierce back the other way, couldn't get it to go. Tipped around by Shanahan. Finally gathered in by Ewing. Wrestler with another backdoor cut to Uchenna. This time he left the layup just short. On the run, Emory. Reset on the right side. A.J. Harris to Shanahan, right corner, in and out. Rebound controlled by Harris. Tap back to Shanahan, and then he lays it in and draws contact as he scores. The offensive rebounds, again, the key.
It's the bugaboo, Bob. Got to get on those rebounds.
Harris at 6'5", Follis, or rather Shanahan at 6'7". Not a huge lineup, but they have crashed the boards.
Not a huge lineup. They're a physical team, and they crash hard. Kelvin guys got to make sure they make contact with the box out first before they go get the ball. Goes back to fundamentals.
Ressler and Winkle sit down. Riemersma and Parker Swartz in the lineup. Also in is James Felton. He replaces Brady. 3-point play gives Emory a 5-point lead again, 50-45. 16 to go in this second half. Emory shooting just 36% to Calvin's 51, but it's all the extra shot attempts. 18 more shot attempts that have been the difference. Felton harassed out high, gets it to Ikekeza. Corner, Winkle with 5 on the shot. Gotta hurry. Uchenna forces up a 3. Drains it. At the shot clock. Cuts the lead to 2. On the drive is Shanahan. He's bumped by Felton. That'll send Shanahan to the line and send us to the media timeout. 15:27 to go.
That 3 by Uchenna, Bobby, that's not his game normally, but I can't tell you over the last number of years how many of those Uchenna's hit. He just got a knack for hitting a big shot. And it's the guy who you wanted the ball in his hand when the shot clock's running down.
Tomorrow, if you want to see some great basketball, come back here to Calvin. 4 games, of course. Full day general admission is $15. Full day pass for non-Calvin students is $12. 4 games starting at 1 o'clock, 1, 3, 5:30, and 7:30 tomorrow night. 5 of these 8 schools, Mike, are nationally ranked heading into the season. All 8, of course, have seen extensive NCAA tournament action in their program history. If you had to pick out of all these 5, not including Calvin, can't let you pick Calvin, what's the program that just strikes you as the most prestigious basketball school out of these 7, the remaining 7?
Boy, that's a good question. You know, coming into this weekend, you know, Calvin had just a legendary game last March with John Carroll in their place. And they're ranked number 3 coming into this game. Now, of course, their point guard got hurt early in the game today, and they ended up losing that game. But they were the team I was most anxious to see. Johns Hopkins and Emory from from Baltimore and from Atlanta, you know, we just don't see them much, and so it's been a treat to see them. Actually seen their schools more when they're in the national tournament with the volleyball, is what our history has been. So it's fun to see them on the basketball court.
After that timeout, Logan Shanahan has a pair at the line, misses the first. Shanahan, 10 points. Comes up empty at the stripe, but Jair Knight's there for another offensive rebound. Kicks it out to Ben Pierce. It's tipped back out on Pierce's miss. Wide open for a corner 3 is Logan Shanahan. That won't go. Battling on the boards is Egakeza could not corral that ball, and it stays with Emory, looking at their 5th opportunity on this possession.
This is the difference in the game so far. Calvin's got to figure out how to get the defensive rebounds.
Pierce triggers it in. Knight right side, watched by Riemersma. Walled off nicely. Fall away jumper is well short. And Varnado comes away with a rebound, a much needed defensive rebound for Calvin.
And a really nice defensive play by Trip Riemersma there. Forced Knight into a really tough shot.
Between the circles, Varnado picks up his dribble, needs help from Parker Schwartz, and he'll reset for the Knights. Varnado left point. And Egakeza now down low to Varnado, knocked away. Chenna will spin in the lane, fall away from the free throw line, and knock it down.
There he is again.
2 straight late shot clock buckets by Uchenna Egakeza as Calvin tied with Emory 50-50. Left wing Shanahan. Balled off by Varnado. Pierce probes the lane, kick out to Knight, left wing 3. Hammers it home. Jair Knight with his 18th point of the game. Boy, he's hit some big shots tonight as well.
He's a really good player, and when Calvin played really good defense there for about 30 seconds, and Knight found a way to get open late.
I think it was 29.5. Chen on the spin, loses control into the hands of Jair Knight. Junior from Elyria, Ohio. Slashes down the lane. Couldn't finish that one. Felton clears for Calvin. Right side, Parker Schwartz, long 3. Misses the mark, but there's Felton there for the rebound, offensive rebound. No shot on the floor. He was pushed before the rebound. Good to see James Felton with some active effort inside in the lane.
That's what we need from James. 6'9", 6'10". He needs to be a presence in there, and that's great to create another possession for Calvin.
No doubt the loss of Jalen Overway put a premium on some size through the transfer portal. Bill Saul got it in the form of James Felton, and hopefully he will develop over the course of this season. Down by 3. Calvin back to work. Winkle left elbow. Gets a step on Faust, draws contact, and he'll shoot a pair.
Calvin seems to be Emory plays in a zone coming out of that out-of-bounds play every time, and Calvin's answer seems to be Winkle in the lane.
Trevin sporting the nose or face mask today. His first home appearance of this year. Good on the first free throw.
Makes me think of Rip Hamilton.
Winkle 4 for 4 from the stripe. Egakeza leads Calvin with 19. Schwartz has added 10. Cale Martin's underneath, backs off Ewing. Left the open jumper short. It's cleared by the Knights. Egakeza, left elbow. Leaves for Schwartz. Good take on the right side of the lane. Finger rolls it in, and the Knights are back on top.
Great body control.
12 to go, but Ben Pierce answers on the other end with a 3-ball.
Just back and forth, back and forth.
Left wing Schwartz to the hole again. Got a step on H.A. Harris. Beat him to the bucket and converted. Pierce back the other way, pushes off. Good call by the official. Mike, that's where give Bill Saul credit. He was working the official a little bit after that last bucket by Harris, and that time
Coach might have earned that one.
He earned it. He sure did.
Yeah.
Got the push-off call. Knotted at 56. Wrestler, Porky, Winkle, Schwartz, and Ewing, the quintet for Calvin. Horky using the double screen up top. Gets space on the right side, was too strong on the right wing jumper. Cleared by Jair Knight. Behind the back dribble, stops at the free throw line. Good defense by Trevin Winkle. And Emory will reset. Faust underneath the Capolino, back out to Jair Knight. He draws contact on the take. Bring us to immediate timeout. All tied up, 56 to 56. 11:49 to go here in the second half. If you're coming to Grand Rapids for a Calvin home game or any other university event, your home for accommodation is the Hilton Garden Inn, less than 1 mile south of campus. While you're there, catch all the games on the big screens at Big East Sports Grill. That's at the Hilton Garden Inn, just a mile south of Calvin's campus. Today's second half brought to you by Skipper No Strength Wealth Management, providing personal financial strategies tailored to your goals and lifestyle.
Hilton Garden Inn's where all our visiting teams are staying this week, Bob, and I'm hearing good things. They love it down there, so they're great partners of Calvin, and great to have them partner with us on this event.
I know that Ryan Whitnable, the outstanding creator of this wonderful event, has to choose where, but I have the feeling that it's going to be hard not to come back to Calvin sooner rather than later. It's a great place for this event with the facility here at Van Noort Arena and the area around the university.
I think they've enjoyed their time. They've been very complimentary of Calvin, and we gave them a little tour of some of our new facilities today, the new football locker room and the soccer stadium, and the general thought was, this doesn't look like D3 facilities, so it's been fun to have them in town.
No doubt, all the teams really seem to be enjoying themselves. Back to the action, tied at 56. Emory on the offensive end. Inside to Ethan House. Good play out of bounds, but he couldn't convert on the 12-foot bank shot. Out of bounds to Calvin. Jair Knight's gone all but 4 minutes. Ben Pierce has played all but 2 minutes. So that backcourt of Emory, the mainstays for the Eagles.
That is their 1-2 punch for sure.
Horky between the circles. Finds Winkle on a right wing three, left it short. Capolino on a run out to Jair Knight. Pretty move.
Really athletic play.
20 for Jair Knight. What a battle today between he and Egakeza. They lead their teams in scoring. Egakeza with 19, Knight with 20. Brady Ewing gets away with a travel, changes pivot foot. I thought Horky was there for the tip in on the missed shot. 58 all.
I think you're right on the pivot shot, but Horky with a great tip, and now he gets a steal.
Ty Horky, the Kalamazoo transfer, ahead to Swartz. His three balls swatted away by John Capolino, the fourth. Out of bounds, and with 10:37 to go, we remain tied at 58. Left corner, Parker Swartz will reset to Horky. The Luca Wrestler at the right point. Eyed the three, now finds Winkle inside that zone. Good look from
That's a
10
good look.
foot.
I'd like to see that go in, but it's a good look. There's a pick.
Battle on the floor. Knights come away with it, but Swartz carried it as he was on the run out. We've had 12 lead changes and 8 ties in this game. Kind of game you love to see.
Really competitive game, and 10 minutes to go, I think we're going to go right down to the wire here, Bob.
All 3 games to start the day were double-digit margins, and really only one of them had any suspense in the final 8 or 9 minutes, and that was the last one. John Carroll cut a big Johns Hopkins lead to 6, but couldn't get any closer. And Lynn Pierce, step back 3 from 22. It's 61-58. Wrestler hassled by Follis, will leave for Owen Varnado. Wrestler trying that backdoor cut again to Ewing, couldn't find him. Parker Schwartz will hand it Varnado, long 3 from deep. Owen Varnado ties the game at 61. Pierce checked well there by Horkey, picks up his dribble at the top of the key. Knight spins away, has it knocked away. But A.J. Harris is able to find a cutting Shanahan underneath the bucket. And he's hammered on the way up. He'll shoot 2.
The guys are getting after it. There are not going to be any easy baskets down the stretch here. You're going to have to earn everything you get.
5 team fouls now for Calvin, 4 for Emory. Tied 8 times, 12 lead changes. There's number 13 as Shanahan hits the free throw. Substitutions for the Knights. Dane Harvey gets his first action here in the second half. Agakeza back in the lineup. Second free throw, no. Harris trying to chase down the rebound. I think he knocked it off Wrestler's leg.